today I'm cleaning stuff up, and I've got two things I'll show you here. One is my old school way of keeping track of corn yields. Soybean yields too, I guess. All my yields. This is the low-tech, high-tech way. The old floppy disk, straight from 2005 when that monitor was built. When floppy disks were still a thing, but I have the new school, well, not the new school, but most of the time, these newer monitors, it's all on a USB flash drive. Unfortunately, this one's a little bit old school, but it still does the same thing. I've got an adapter that'll put it on a flash drive. But then I like to do the old school way of writing everything down on paper too, just in case something goes south. I'm weighing all the loads through the cart, which has a scale on it, and that verifies that what this card says is actually correct, or that the scale is actually correct, vice versa. Now, in doing that, I'll know about exactly how many bushels I've got here at the end of the year as harvest is over, and be able to market grain accordingly. I've been in the office a lot this morning, and then cleaning things up today. For the first time in almost a year, I can actually see the bottom of my pickup bed. So that's new. That's kind of rare. I usually have so much stuff in there, but you can see it's actually clean. And I'm still working on cleaning out the shop. That's what I've been doing most of this afternoon, is just putting tools away and picking things up. So definitely needs done. I do not like clutter. I do not like messes. Unfortunately, during harvest time, things get pretty cluttered and pretty messy, so that's part of it. But charging radios, got all my Milwaukee batteries all charged up and that fun stuff. So yeah, got a nice line of them there. I'm getting a collection of Milwaukee stuff. I really like their stuff, and once you've got some Milwaukee tools, as long as you keep buying them, all your batteries are interchangeable. One thing I'm going to do this winter is in here in the shop, they make rolls. They're about 400 or 500 square foot a piece of like reflective insulation. It's shiny, and I'm going to roll all the walls with that stuff and really brighten up the shop, kind of make it look nice in here. I'm going to get some random seed signs and flags, whatever, kind of hang up on the walls. I'm going to decorate the shop, if you will. But I just want to clean this place up, organize it. I ordered a bunch of pegboard to put on that wall so I can hang all of my wrenches up, since right now all of my wrenches, and I'll show you guys, are basically jammed in drawers like this. And I don't know, I don't really care for that. It's just unorganized to me, because you go to grab a wrench, and as many times as you set them all in there in order, smallest to largest, it just seems like every time you pull the drawer out, they get all mixed up, and you're right back to square one. Everything is unorganized again. So I'm going to put some pegboard on that wall and hang hooks up so I can hang all my wrenches up on the wall and keep them in order from smallest to largest. I do have corn in the cart still. It's completely full, and you can't see it, but the grain truck back here also is still full of corn. Unfortunately, it's been raining pretty much every day, so that doesn't have a tarp. I haven't gone and dumped it. It's not going to hurt anything. I mean, it's dry corn. It's not going to hurt it anything to sit there, but I would like to get it put in the bin. And I need to run over there. I've got a grain bin fan that quit working. I think the outlet's bad, the breaker's bad, or the plug-in's bad. It's one of the three, but that's cheap stuff to replace, so I'm just going to replace all three. It's just a 220 outlet, so not too complicated to do. Double pole, square D breaker, yada yada. Anyhow, pretty simple stuff. I am not a master electrician at all. I know enough to get me in trouble. I'll swap breakers out, outlets, plug-ins, whatever. But if it's not like red to red, black to black, positive, negative, count me out, because you get into testing stuff and voltage meters and all that. I'm not an expert on that, but as far as basic stuff, I can do that. Kind of like plumbing and mechanics, I can do the basic stuff, but much beyond that, I don't know. I'd just assume pay somebody that knows more than me to do it. But got a lot of house projects. I'm actually going to go pick up a new dishwasher this afternoon that I bought about a month and a half ago and have just yet to go get. So I need to go get that installed. That'll make my wife happy. And yeah, a lot of cleanup work to do, a lot of power washing to do, a lot of equipment to clean up. So you can see the shop here is kind of a mess. But one thing that I want to kind of show you guys is I'm going to take the yield data and kind of put it into a program called AgLeader SMS, and it will kind of show you guys how yield maps work, how soil maps work, and things like that. Now I'm going to do it on ground that we own, not ground that I rent. That way I don't have any neighbors that are potential competitors kind of spying on yields and soil and whatnot. That's just me. I'd rather not share all of my yield data and financial information with everybody, but I will show some of it on the ground that is owned and not going anywhere. It is not owned by me. It's the guy I farm with, but this ground's not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about competition on it. But I'll just show you kind of some different yields, basically how yield maps work, how soil maps work, how we write prescriptions for fertilizer based on those, kind of the technical side of things, and kind of what I would like to work forward to getting into in the precision ag side of things. I would like to put some row clutches on the planter this winter and kind of go the precision side. I'm not sure if I'm going to take Precision Planning's route, AgLeader's route, so if you guys are experienced with that, drop some comments. Let me know what you do and don't like out of each. But I am looking forward to kind of playing with the planter this winter and putting some money into it. I'm going to be doing it on a pretty tight budget because it is a used planter. It's an older planter. I don't want to dump a boatload of money into it, but at the same time, it's in good enough mechanical shape that if I do invest a little bit of money in it, it's going to be around for a while. So there's that as well. Now we are not completely done with harvest. I do have 15 acres of corn left to go shell. It is right over that way, kind of right over the garage. As you can see, I still have the auger up. It's 15 acres. It should all fit in that bin. It's going to be really close. But it's in a creek bottom. I would have really liked to get it out before it started raining like it has been. The first sunny day we get that the stalks dry off, I think I can get down there. I don't think it's really muddy yet. It's a little sticky on top, but I don't think I'm going to go cutting foot-deep ruts or anything like that. It's less than ideal. I'd like to have gotten it out when it was completely dry, but it is what it is. I mean, we wiped out 800 and some odd acres when it was completely dry, so I can't complain one bit. We had excellent weather this harvest season, and to only have 15 acres left before getting rained out, that's pretty great. So would have liked to get it out. I was actually moving down there as it started raining. I was planning to knock that out, but it just didn't work out that way. So Other than that, got 15 acres to do, and then I'm going to test all the bins at the top and at the bottom with a moisture tester, make sure they're all in good shape, clean up a lot of spilt grain around here, pick up a lot of crap around here. Like we got new doors put on the shop and the tin is still sitting there from the old doors. Stuff like that, just trying to get things picked up around here. There's grain absolutely everywhere from where we've worked on the combine and the cart, and the floors need swept, and it's just, there's tools everywhere, and yeah, it's kind of a mess around here. So that's kind of what I'm up to. That's what you guys can look forward to seeing. I would also like to do quite a bit of fall tillage. I am shopping around for a couple pieces of equipment right now that you guys will get to drive around, go see what I look for when I go buy a piece of equipment, kind of what I'm shopping around for, so there'll be some videos on that as well. So here is the conglomeration. This adapts to the combine, to this adapts to this, to a USB, to the computer, so we can look at yield data. Just driving around looking. I don't see anything I have to have, just plenty of things I need. Well, I'm no expert here, but I'm pretty sure that the dirt truck would dump faster if it wasn't dumping corn back into the truck. Tends to help, but it'll bust. Well, here it is, folks. The very last field. Very last field of the year. The air conditioner quit working and it's 81 degrees today, so it feels really good in here. At least it waited till the last day to quit. But we're getting the last field opened up. It's just 15 acres, so I can tough this one out. The corn's really tall, but it is not yielding as good as it looks. Kind of surprised. I thought this would be pretty good corn, and it's not bad, but I really thought it'd be a lot better than what it is. Getting it opened up though. Well, the first semi-load shelled. Still got a little bit left in the combine, but we definitely got the truck full. This corn down here is kind of disappointing, to be completely honest. Dumping. Getting the hopper empty. Got the field opened up. Probably over, well, I am over half done. Got about 6 acres left, so not too much to go. The corn here on the inside of the field is all over the place. Some of it's making over 220. Some of it's making 120. A lot of this is a really, really poorly drained field. That's why it's the last one I planted. It lays wet down here. It really, really, really needs tiled. Just never done it, but you can see that whole spot out there was just a drown out spot. Part of that didn't even get planted actually. It just wasn't worth trying to get something hung up and plugging up row units, so I didn't plant that. But this right here is okay corn. It's just kind of all over the board. You know, it's pretty much a mud hole when even water hemp doesn't grow very good. That stuff grows everywhere, but it doesn't seem to grow there. Not very well, at least. So this is about all we got left here. I don't think that we're going to be doing any fall tillage down here anytime soon. I would like to rip this bottom, but that's probably not gonna happen, as muddy as it is. It's like driving on ice down here, kind of, especially if you're not in four-wheel drive. It's not too terribly bad just because it's flat ground, but there is a little bit of a hillside over there, and I was sliding all over the place on that. Just like I am right now, trying to find a road to stay on. So, not much left. Just here to the trees, and we will be done for the year. Well, here it is. It's the last 6 rows. We are done. If I can make it to the end of the trees down there. Well, can we make it without breaking anything in the last 50 feet? Because that would be my luck. That would just be my luck. Something will blow apart in the last 50 feet. Corn's actually rolling in pretty good here. This side of the field got a little bit better. So this is the end of harvest right there. It feels pretty good to be done. Life is good. Well, now that we're done with the combine, the fun part starts. Cleaning it back up. That's the job I'm never looking forward to doing. The combine's waiting on me to clean it up. Dumping the last load. Rolling in. Should about fill that bin. That bin's going to be really, really close to full. But last load was definitely a full one, so we made it count at least. But nice clean corn, no cracks, hardly any trash. That combine did a phenomenal job this year. The combine itself ran about 900 acres, and the only issue I had with the combine is I had a belt blow apart and a bearing go out, but that bearing took about 20 minutes to replace, and that was it. So I really can't complain. It was a good machine this year, so I wish I could say the same about the bean head, but the corn head did a pretty good job too. It was just it's got those 2 snapping rolls that are rubbing, so that's just a minor issue in a gearbox. Got all winter to get that fixed before next fall. This is satisfying to watch. Last load in the bin. Just so I can turn around and do it all again next year. Alright, so we're done with the auger. So we're going to get it put up. Drive it around the shop here, and I'll leave the semi sitting there because I've still got some corn in the grain cart that's mine, but I'm gonna run over to the leg with a semi, and the grain truck is over at the leg right now. So when I get back to the leg, I'm gonna swap trucks and bring the grain truck home and leave the semi there. Dropping the auger down right now, but I'm gonna leave the semi over there. That way when I start hauling corn next week, I've got I think 3 appointments so far, but I'll be able to go ahead and start getting that corn hauled. Just drive my pickup over there and pick up the semi. I mean, there's a roof under there to park it under, so I'm not too terribly concerned about it. The last cart dump of the year, and it is a full one. Gonna get this dumped on the semi and run it over to the leg tomorrow. I was gonna do it tonight, but it's getting dark, and since the headlights suck on that 10-wheeler, it can wait till morning because I really don't want to drive that thing back with hardly any lights on it. So here's one last action shot from the grain cart for the year. Well, probably not for the year, because a lot of times I will end up back on the grain cart. At some point in the winter time, it'll get muddy and I can't get the semi out in the yard, so I'll end up with the grain cart out in the yard instead. And I'll fill the cart and then fill the truck, and it's a pain in the butt, but it's the best way I've found to get a grain bin open. Best way I've found to get a grain bin empty when it's muddy like that. The smart thing to do would just be put gravel out there, but gravel's expensive and diesel fuel's cheap, so I just use the cart. Got it piled on there pretty good. I'm gonna let this thing sit here a second and kind of clean out, get as much out as I can. Just since it may be going into hibernation this year, I don't know. If the ground stays frozen, we won't have a problem. Shouldn't have to get it back out, but I don't know. As long as it stays dry or the ground freezes, shouldn't need it, but we'll see. Well, I'm gonna blow these off, especially that one. That way tomorrow, most of the crap is off of them, so I can power wash them. I find that it helps to blow them off before you wash them. You can get most of that, especially like the stuff that's on that feeder house, because if you just go to wash it, it just turns to concrete, ends up being a mess. So blow them off and then get them both power washed and scrubbed down tomorrow. Got my door shut here, maybe. And I left my camera on anyhow. Cab also needs a good sweeping out. It's pretty dirty in here. I sweep them out about once every day, once every other day normally. But yeah, it's a little bit dirtier than it was the beginning of this fall. And then you get deals like this where I've had hydraulic oil leak, and then it just dust magnetizes to that. So that's fun stuff. But all in all, the cart stayed fairly clean. So did the Steiger. I mean, they're a little dirty, but not too bad. But the combine, on the other hand, it needs a good washing. And as long as the weather stays like this, may even get to wax it. I'm gonna drive this rig up to the shop real quick. I think I've got a radiator hose that's wanting to leak a little bit, so tighten up the hose clamp on that. And as you can see, the Polaris is putting in some work. It's hooked up to the auger right now, which is currently missing a tire because earlier today, long story short, I was trying to move the swing away. It wasn't cooperating. I hooked a chain to it, pulled it sideways, and when I did it, I snapped the hub, which is just cast metal. It's like pot metal, basically. But I snapped that, and just so happened I had another auger that has the same wheels and rims and hubs and all that fun stuff. So I just robbed one off of that one because I don't need it right now. I got another one ordered. It's on its way, but yeah, I hooked the Polaris to that just to make do in the meantime. So I'm gonna throw the semi in the shed real quick too. So you can see the jet, wow, I'm tongue-tied. You can see the jet trails tonight, which old wise tale is that if you can see the jet trails at night, it's gonna rain tomorrow. Well, I just looked at my phone since I saw jet trails, and guess what? There's a 100% chance of rain tomorrow. So I think there is some truth to that. Now the old Magnum, she might be turned up just a few ponies. This thing has plenty of power. It's been turned up just a little bit. Never had any issues with it. Always pulled everything we've needed it to pull. It just kind of runs out of traction, but never out of power. It'll start slipping before it'll start pulling down, but these are just one heck of a tractor. I mean, this one's got a couple minor things that need done to it. I've got a hydraulic remote that's starting to leak a little bit, but I mean, that's just a seal kit. That isn't a big deal. But these are about as bulletproof as they come as far as tractors go. I know of several guys that are running these things with upwards of 20,000 hours on them. I mean, this one's only got, I think it just rolled over 5,000. So I plan on keeping this tractor around for a very, very long time. This is what I grew up on. I don't own this tractor. I own that one, but I don't own this one. But it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon either. It's just a heck of a tractor. When I bought that one, it was supposed to have as much horsepower as this one, but I honestly, I don't know. I think that thing needs a little bit of work. It doesn't run quite as well as this one, but that one's not been turned up either. But it does get a lot more traction than this one gets. So out in the field, it's about a toss-up which one would outpull the other. This one's got more power, that one's got more traction, but I will probably bust open the fuel pump of that thing, turn the screw a little bit this winter, just to give it a few more ponies. I'm not gonna go crazy. I do want the thing to hold together. And these 8.3 Cummins motors are pretty much bulletproof until you turn them up and start running them too hot. And then, like any motor that gets turned up and ran hot, the head gaskets like to let go. But other than that, they're pretty good motors, pretty bulletproof motors. That 2388 also has a 8.3 block in it, but it's not quite the same. Well, it's totally different fuel system than what's in the Steiger and the 7140, but good tractors. Pretty happy with the lineup that we're running right now. It's new enough to get the job done and parts are still available, but old enough you can still pretty much work on it for the most part. And to me, I'd prefer that over a lot of newer stuff. Just the fact that I don't have to call a dealership every single time that I need something little work on. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I'm not knocking new equipment. I like new equipment too, but I mean, for the acres I'm running, and well, that we're running total between me and the guy I help, I mean, we just, I feel like we've got a pretty good lineup. I mean, shoot, I got everything planted nice and early this year, and not only that, but it's not even Halloween yet and we're done with harvest, so that's good too. I mean, we've definitely got everything in and out in a timely manner. Weather has helped a lot this year, but I just don't really feel like we are hurting on the equipment side that I need to be upgrading to bigger stuff. There's stuff that I'd like to update, but not necessarily get bigger equipment, just kind of update some things. But I'm gonna go make myself some dinner, play with the dogs a little bit, and get a shower and go to bed. Well, he's awful low. Beautiful night, 81 degrees today. Can't beat it for the end of October.